Fox News war correspondent Benjamin Hall survived a Russian bomb attack while covering the war in Ukraine. 1 year later, he's released a new book. It's called Saved. Wendy Griffith spoke with Hall about his faith and how it helped him to make an amazing comeback.
This was the scene of a battle just a few days ago as the Russians tried to move forward. They're still shelling it right now.
Thanks to his trademark British accent and reporting style, it didn't take long for Fox News correspondent Benjamin Hall to stand out for his coverage of the war in Ukraine.
When we speak to these guys, they're feeling optimistic.
But on March 14th, 2022, Hall became the story as he and his crew fell under Russian attack on the outskirts of Kyiv.
We slowed down at a checkpoint, an abandoned checkpoint. As the car slowed down, out of nowhere came that first bomb, came whistling out of the sky, landed about 30 feet in front of us. Quickly, we knew we had to move, and there was a shout to reverse the car to get back. But then a few seconds later, the second bomb landed, and that landed just next to the car. It blacked me out. I was as close to death as I think you can be, total silent blackness. And into that blackness came my daughter, my 7-year-old daughter, Honor. And she was right in front of me, as clearly as anything. She said to me, "Daddy, you've got to get out of the car." And my eyes opened. I was brought quickly back into the world, and I took grabbed my way towards the door of the car. And just after I had gotten out of the car, the third bomb hit the car itself. And that one threw me away, and I was out for a little bit.
When Ben regained consciousness, he saw the serious nature of his injuries.
I'm on fire. My right leg is gone. My left foot's gone, mostly gone. And I'm putting the flames out. I'm rolling around. I'm trying to stop the fire. No one knew where we were. No one knew we'd been hit. And there was no cell phone reception. And that was the moment there where you have to pray. You have to think, what am I going to do?
Then a car with Ukrainian special forces drove past.
It didn't see us the first time, but it got lost down the road and it came back. I woke up soon after that in a hospital inside Kyiv, a small Ukrainian hospital. But then I knew I wasn't saved either because there was no way out of the city. And then began this incredible evacuation led by Save Our Allies, who managed to get me out on the Polish Prime Minister's train.
In addition to his right leg and left foot, Hall also lost an eye and severely damaged a hand. Even worse, his longtime friend and cameraman, Pierre Zakchevsky, and Ukrainian producer Sasha Kushnova did not survive. Clinging to life, Hall had to endure a 10-hour train ride and cross the border to Poland.
We'd managed to break through the roadblocks to get there, break through the curfews. People were checking my wounds to see if I was really injured or if we were a Russian hit squad coming in. And that was another point where I just had to pray. And it was when I got to the Polish border 10 hours later, through incredible agony, that there was a US Black Hawk waiting. And as I rose up into the sky, then that was the time that I knew that survival was over and recovery was beginning.
Tell us about the recovery, though, because that was hard.
Yes, and the recovery continues to this day. Every day I'm at physio. I see doctors most days. There's still a lot of work to be done. But I was first taken to Landstuhl in Germany, biggest US base outside, a hospital outside, and where all the injured from Afghanistan and Iraq had been treated with very similar wounds to mine, called polytrauma.
In his new book, Saved, A War Reporter's Mission to Make It Home, Hall writes that he had to keep fighting, not just for himself, but for his wife and 3 young daughters.
I didn't want my daughters to come and see me straight away. I didn't want them to see me so badly injured, unable to move. That's what drove my recovery, knowing that instead of them coming to see me, I would get better as fast as I could and as well as I could every single day. And so every day I woke up and the plan was to do more than I did the day before.
What was it like when your daughters first saw their daddy after this?
Oh, I mean, it was this, but I was quite nervous because I had spoken to other people, veterans who had similar accidents as I had similar limb loss, whose children were very afraid of them when they first saw them. But when I walked in that door and I knew they were waiting inside, I didn't quite know what it would be like. And then that one moment as they just all ran up and grabbed hold of me, my Honor, my eldest, wouldn't let go. And there was just this moment where she wouldn't let go of me. You're back, you're back, you're back. And we all cried. And it was just, that's what I had worked so hard to do. They were what saved me as well, was getting home. So that moment was one of just total joy, real joy.
And your wife has been such a support through all of this.
Oh, everything. I mean, one of the things I said the first time I saw her when I was in Landstuhl in Germany, it was a few days after I got out, the first thing I said was sorry. I said, I'm so sorry. Not because of what had happened, but because of what lay ahead. I knew that it meant a different life for us. She said, what have we got to do? Where do we do it? We will do it together.
And Benjamin, you said you felt the prayers of everybody during your recovery and even now.
Every single day I received letters. I received messages in the mail and social media from people across America, thousands of them, sending prayers, willing me on, sending blessings. And every single time I read one of those, it gave me that another little level of strength to push through. And, you know, in many ways, I am now much closer to God. I feel closer than I was before.
I've heard in some of your interviews, you've said God saved me for a reason. Do you know what that reason is?
No, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say I know what it is, but I do know that I was saved because of incredible support and help and prayers and kindness and bravery from other people. And if I can give some of that back, then I think I would be doing the right thing.
And Benjamin, what about now? Are you back full-time at Fox?
I have a couple of operations coming up in the next month, so not at the moment, but we're already talking about some plans, and I want to focus on some of the optimistic side as well. I'm so amazed at the incredible people I've met, the prayers that have been said, and the heroes around me that actually for the first time I want to tell some of those really uplifting, optimistic stories.
Wendy Griffith, CBN News.
Well, if you're looking for hope in this world, Benjamin's story ought to give everyone hope. If you're looking for purpose in life, the purpose is let the redeemed of the Lord say so. When you're weak, he is strong and he shows up. He is our very present help in time of trouble. To have that kind of vision in that wreckage, you have to get out of the car, and then getting out only to turn around and see yet another bomb hit. What an amazing story. What an amazing story of courage, a family story, family saying, we're with you, Dad. We're with you. What do we have to do? How do we move forward? Let it be a lesson for all of us. Let us look at Benjamin's life and say, yes, we can do this. We can get through whatever comes our way in these turbulent times. Well, Benjamin Hall's new book is called Saved, A War Reporter's Mission to Make It Home, and it's available wherever books are sold.